Oh, we're still cute, I see. Right. So, last time we just finished our first page, which was this one. And are now ready to move on to whatever this is. As they, the, into a, causing the, to be, when it, the, below. Okay. So, interestingly, that doodle there is like the gunshot got lodged into that statue. Which I know did, but I kind of was thinking that they actually used that statue to bash their head in, but maybe not. My rap career, the, in, Someone had really good advice about developing those pictures. I have no idea where the exit is. Okay, so I have to take the stairs down. Oh, wait. There was a button to run. I forget what it is. But yeah, let's go outside to the payphone. Someone said that that's maybe where you can call to get the pictures developed. I totally forgot we could go outside. I guess I could give the police department a call. There's probably someone on their last shift about now. Can't forget to expense this charge, though. Payphones aren't getting any cheaper these days. Detective! Hope the case is coming along smoothly. What can I do for you? Film. I found a reel of camera film that might be important to the case. There's equipment at the station to develop it. Could you send someone to come pick this up for me? Absolutely, Detective. In fact, I'll just come do it myself. Okay. Oh, sorry about the wait, Detective. I came as fast as I could. I think you arrived in record time, so no need to apologize at all. Here's the film. Do you know how long it'll take to develop? Not sure. Someone in the lab will take care of it and know... You know how they are. Honk! Don't worry. After a while, we should have a photograph. I won't really have any way to let you know when it's done, but you can always call. Ain't no issue there. Well, I got no shortage of threads to pull on, so I'll put this to the bottom of the list for now. Thanks again. No, thanks necessary. Just part of the job. Good luck. I love how the car took off with the sound of the harp. Oh, I won't need luck. Let's get back to it. So what do we think? What should we start with? Something looked on accidentally, his... then it's by this time, something into the... Well, it was already, so he... Oh, I have no idea. So... Amidst chaos, someone stole the gemstone from the exhibit. Maybe this is about the alarm going off? There's something below. Do we have, like, ricochet? No. Because the statue fell down below, right? Put down my cam. Right, I put it here, didn't I, for these sections. Blocking a little less this way. Examine the glass case closer. Ooh, maybe. He did mention something like that, didn't he? Ooh, sorry, excuse me. This is the pedestal where the stolen gemstone was once displayed. What should I investigate? The broken case. I have more information about the museum's security system now, so I probably should take a second pass at this. I've been assuming the thief used the statue to break open the case because witnesses believe that's what triggered the alarm. There's no denying they heard glass shatter and the alarm blaring, but that doesn't mean it was intentional. When the statue was shot and fell, if it landed into the display below, the gemstone would have been ripe for the taking, unless it was already gone. According to the curator's knowledge on the security system, that leaves us with two possibilities. One, the thief opened the case, which locked the museum doors, and the alarm went off later. Yeah. Or two, the thief was a registered user within the system, and the doors wouldn't have been locked until the case was broken later accidentally. Unfortunately, there's no way to know which is true right now. Maybe the guard will have further insight on my theory. So he thinks maybe the statue fell from above onto the case. It is broken up top as well. Like it fell from the balcony straight onto it. Okay. Do you think maybe it was taken out so it could be forged? Like they didn't actually mean it to be gone. They wanted to replace it with a fake, but got interrupted. So as someone stole the gemstone. They fought in the courtyard, and eventually the punk fell from the natural history balcony along with the statue. As they what? As they argued? As they fought? We already did as they fought, though. They fought in the courtyard and then the punk fell from the balcony. During which someone stole the gem. I guess maybe we could repeat it as they fought. Maybe something else happened during that. Oh, causing the glass case to be shattered, maybe. Glass case to be destroyed. Something into a something. It's also weird that it says the. How do you make that into a sentence? The bullet into... Do we have statue or something? Sculpture? Because the sculpture got hit with the bullet, right? Oh, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense with the glass case, if that's what I want to try and go with. I wonder if we have new conversations available, actually. Let's see. Embedded within one of the broken statue pieces was the tip of a fired bullet. I should assume there's plenty of details conveniently omitted. I need to collect more evidence before I press them further. Okay. Yeah, not sure whether the thief destroyed the case. Wait for the film. The timing of individual events will be the deciding factor. How will I figure that out? I have to consult an expert. So yeah, we did say we wanted to talk to the guard. Oh yeah, this is running. Yeah, I got it. Right trigger. Aye, aye, detective. What can I do for you? About the alarm. I looked back over the crime scene with special attention to the pedestal of the stolen gemstone, and I have a theory I'd like to run by you. Oh, lay it on me. I believe that when the display case was broken, the gemstone was already missing. From everything you know about the security system, would that be possible? I suppose it could be. That'd be quite a twist. The issue I'm having with my theory is how to actually prove it. Without more clearly defined timing, it's impossible to know for sure. Well, the security system has an interface you can access in our maintenance room, but I can't provide that kind of clearance. It's something you would have to you have to get the curator's approval for, since it's private business and all that. I was hoping it wouldn't come to that, but if that's what it takes, I'll give it a shot. Until then, I think I might have a few more things to discuss. Okay, although I don't think I do. Yeah. Curator it is. Ah, detective, I trust the investigation is going well. Of course. Okay, let's see. The back room. The guard mentioned it while we were discussing the security system. I believe access could help crack this case if you would allow it. Preposterous! Everything that happened tonight took place within the public space. No one had access to the maintenance room tonight. Tonight, sure, but what if all of this was set in motion prior? What would you say then? As far as I know, and you can prove, that punk came in to drum up trouble, and some other opportunists saw fit to seize their chance. So what would I say to that, you ask? I would still say no. I hope you understand that if I find another means of access, I will have to defy your wishes. And if I find something important there, you could be held liable for obstruction. Then so be it. Now move along. I will, of course, but right now there are other things to discuss. No, there isn't. Okay, so interesting that they don't give us access. Where do you think this back room is? I'm not sure. It's not on the map. Did we check the other balcony? Did I check here? I don't know. Would you like to take control of your past or change the channel of your future? Control the past. Shuffles the screen on the television exhibits around. They almost had me there. Cool. Oh, we can talk to the mouse again. The plaque reads Fairy of the Wall by Anthony Goatley. Could have sworn I've seen photos of this one before and it seemed much larger. I can't remember having looked at these. The Legume by Anish Capoodle. Shape is so intriguing and it is surface. So reflecting. Wait, is that something in my teeth? Why didn't anyone tell me? Let's see. Wait, also. Oh, there's stairs here too. I see. The layout is starting to make a little more sense to me. So I should be able to go to the mouse through here. Yeah. Hey there. I'm innocent! I forgot I did that. Every time you say that, I get a little less confident you're telling the truth. Admission. There's no fee or anything, right? No, in this case, someone had come in before you and paid in advance, actually. Call it luck, right? That kind of thing never happens to me. So you weren't aware of who paid for it? No. Didn't think anything of it, just went on my way, waiting for that date like I said before. Well, it turns out the generous patron was caught in this chaotic situation and unfortunately it cost him their life. Detective, I lied, okay? I lied to you. I didn't come here for a date and I do know who paid my admission. The punk was my friend, my best friend. Please could you tell me what happened? He and another visitor got into an argument. Ultimately, he fell from the balcony in the Natural History exhibit. It seems to have been fatal. Oh, okay. Detective, you can ask a couple more questions if you really need to, but after that, I'd like to take a few minutes to myself. Sorry for your loss. Interesting. Okay. Oh, now we can talk to you as well. What do you have to say? Oh, oops. Today's events. About the critic. You said they were asking you some personal questions, but you described it as only a debate between experts. I did say questions, but they were more like challenges. Did it feel like perhaps he had an ulterior motive? You mentioned the possibility it could have been a distraction. I don't think he really had a goal. He was just being a curmudgeonly old man. That sounds rude, but true. And that isn't anything new, so I guess I didn't think much of it. Not until, well, you know the rest by now. I do, yes. Thanks for clarifying that. Maybe we should clear up a few other things. The guard. I don't believe you were aware at the moment, but I figured I should tell you. He did try to help you while you were in that stunned state. Unfortunately, he didn't know how to help, but he called for the curator to come take care of you. He wished he could have done more, he said. The guard has always been the nicest. If you get a chance, tell him I appreciate it. I'll bring him extra croissant tomorrow. Croissant! I'm sure he'll enjoy that. I've got some more details to go over if you wouldn't mind. Croissant. According to your testimony, the curator helped you up to a point and then prioritized calling the police. Unfortunately, they didn't corroborate that. Are you giving me chance to revise my statement? Okay, yeah. The curator would never have prioritized the museum over us. At least, not as far as I've ever known. They did help me recover more than I let on before, and it was my idea to call the authorities. The curator theorized that you were attempting to protect their reputation. I suppose I was. I know they come across as a bit prickly, Detective, but they do mean well. And they do whatever it takes to support us. I just wish there was a way we could do the same for them. That does seem to be a bit of a trend, but there are other topics we should also get to. Oh, keep clicking like one's too many. So what do we have here? The back room. I've discussed it with the guard and believe it would be incredibly important to solving this case. Would you be able to take me there? It's staff only, though. Do you already have the curator's permission? Ooh, for the purposes of our conversation now, let's assume yes, I do. Come to think of it, it wouldn't matter either way. And why is that? I embarrassingly misplaced my keys a week ago, so I can't actually get into the maintenance room. The curator said they were gonna have a replacement made for me soon, but in the meantime, the guard lends me his as needed. Sorry, Detective. Not much help on this front. Maybe you can borrow the guard's keys? Ooh. That may not be as easy as you'd think. Okay. Interesting. Oh, Froggy? New things we can talk about? Salutations, Detective. Back room. I understand this is a stretch, but you wouldn't have any idea where it is, would you? You mean the maintenance room for the museum? I can't say I do. However, I may have something that could help you find it. Really? I was mostly just preparing to vent about this investigation's roadblock. What do you have? Told you earlier about how the guard bumped into me. It appears he dropped his keys in the process. You can have them if you think they would assist you. Oh wow, unfortunately, I can't use a key on a door I can't find, but I'm sure these will come in handy when I do. You're welcome, Detective. Feel free to return them once this is wrapped up. Of course, I have no need for them. Yeah, why not give them back to the guard? Why would I return them to you? Okay, so I have keys now. I sure do. Oh my god. There is a little rumbly this way. Something here. There. Oh, of course. I knew there was something else here. This symbol. It looks like a figure with outstretched arms. We just saw that! If I can find it again, that's probably where this key is meant to be used. This is already an absolute mess, but the lack of labeling makes it even worse. Dude, I totally know where that is. I was literally just admiring that. So I go here? Because the fountain icon is the courtyard, right? Yeah. I think it's here. This fairy looks a bit familiar, like the symbol on the key I found. This could become quite the compelling revelations. Revelation. But it could also make this case exceptionally more complicated. Perhaps I should sort out some seemingly smaller threads before opening this proverbial can of catnip. Aw, you don't want to open it yet? But I was totally onto it! True art. Society by Anonymous. Anonymous. True is art dead. Seems like an overly cryptic message, and simultaneously too on the nose. Huh. True art is dead. Dead, I tell you. Dead! Okay. Why does that tree have a thing on it? Magnifying glass. Let's investigate. No sense in leaving any stone unturned, or shrub in this case. Just gotta reach my paw in and rustle some leaves. What's this? Something is perched between these branches. Cold and feels like metal. Could it be what I think it is? Yes! It's the casing to match the tip from earlier. I'll have to update the evidence records now that I have both pieces of the bullet. However, the question remains, where is the weapon that fired it? So, the fact that you found the casing here means that the shot was fired from the balcony up above, right? I've never really been a fan of water, but if my suspicions are correct, I need to do what must be done. Paw into the fountain, Detective. Here goes nothing. Oh dear, it's cold and very wet. Oh, my fur is going to be uncomfortable for the rest of the evening. There it is! The murder weapon! A smoking, dripping gun. It was likely fired during the brawl upstairs and dropped soon after. I'll have to look it over to gather more information and then start questioning the various suspects about it too. Yes, progress. It's a gun. I'm getting some like rumblies at certain aspects. Oh, here? Here it rumbles. So I'm close to something. Oh, closer. Further away. It's like playing like hot or cold. Oh, there! We are checking a magazine. Of course, I knew there was something else here. Thankfully, it's not still loaded. It won't be doing any more harm anytime soon. Although, I can't gather much more from this. I'm not a weapons expert. What are the chances someone here would be able to tell me more? Okay. Let's see. We're waiting for the film. Do you think the guard would know more about the gun? Pig is a mop buzz. I thought so. About the weapon. I've recovered it from one of the courtyard fountains, as well as the 2 pieces of a fired bullet. I'm not sure what more to make of them, though. Well, for starters, this bullet most certainly belongs to that gun, in case that was ever a question. And while I didn't have a clear view from the first floor, I'm fairly certain it was the punk that had their hands on the grip. Did you say you found the gun in one of the fountains? I did, yes. It's my current operating theory that the old-timer got some sort of advantage against the punk and forced it from his grasp. Makes sense to me, but isn't it a bit far-fetched the old-timer would have the wherewithal to drop it so precisely? What if they were both disoriented enough that neither of them could really keep a hold of it? That would explain the precarious stanchion in the courtyard too, eh? Actually, you're right. That does sound more likely. Now I have some other things I'd like to question you about. I don't know if I do. Alright. Oh, did we give the gun to him? Oh no, the gun is here with the bullets. I love the music. It's so good. It said we got an update here, but I don't know. This still says collect more evidence. And something new here. Ooh, the critic. Began discussing the various pieces in the sculpture exhibit with the guide. Yeah, not the guard. The guide said otherwise. This may not have necessarily been a lie, but it certainly speaks to the critic's sensibilities. At least his testimony seems to line up otherwise. Okay. Good. The old-timer. Amidst the struggle, the punk fired the gun, but missed his target. The old-timer then disarmed him with ease. No, because the guard said that maybe they were both kind of like disoriented, right? The gun was fired only as an accidental result of the brawl. When it went off, both men were so disoriented that neither kept a hold of the weapon or pursued the fight much further. Okay. Good, that's all that cleared up. I guess I should make a round and see if there's anyone else I can talk to. If anything got renewed. Maybe the old-timer? No. Oh, yeah. Yep. Skip the pleasantries, detective. I don't have all day. I'm sure you don't. About this article. Do you know if the curator requested the critic come write it today? No, absolutely not. I'm sure they wouldn't ever ask the critic to do that again. The curator alluded to a previous article. What happened with that? I'll keep the story short since it isn't mine to tell, but between you and I, it wasn't pretty. It was harsh but perfectly fair. I've heard murmurs it put the museum in a rough spot, but that wasn't our concern. But Despite tonight's commotion, the museum seems fine to me. Let's move on for now. The That's a weird thing to talk about, but not really any further. Today's events. The guide. Were you aware that the discussion you shared earlier was quite different, experienced differently by her? Oh, whatever could you mean, detective? Simply a forum for two intellectuals. Perhaps one person's forum is another's arena, especially when such a debate is uninvited. Have you considered that? I can assure you that it's not my intention to debate her. Surely she's been through more treacherous challenges than I could provide. I'm not in a position to make claims one way or another, but I found the disparity in your testimonies important enough to clarify. And worth noting, if your honest response to a criticism is defensive, then I suggest you reflect on why that is. How astute and utterly absurd a sentiment. That's my job. Now I have more inquiries. Well, not for you, though. Okay, who else is around? Oh, I could talk to Piggy. But I will have to go down for that. Okay, you guys are good. You're good. Okay. Froggy is fine. But Piggy is not. Private Eye, he's watching you. Let's get to the topic at hand. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. About the fight. You mentioned you had a pretty clear view, as much as you could, from the lower level. Could you tell me more about how that went? You betcha! And I'll tell you now, I don't know why they were fighting. Whatever it was must have been serious, though. They came out into the balcony swinging, and I didn't think he would have had it in him, but that old timer would not let up. I get where he was coming from, of course, because the punk had that gun and all, so he probably was thinking there wasn't any room to let up. He must have got a step ahead, struck him once, and got a good shove in. Landed the punk with his back flat against the wall. Considering they both got hands on the gun and it went off shortly after, it wasn't a sight I would soon forget. An interesting contradiction, it seems. I hope you don't mind, but I have a couple more questions. Bum, 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 bum. So good. Get music. Okay, so we do have some new keywords. Do you think we're any further? We do know a bit more about the situation now, that they must have been like... They both had their hands on the gun, and then it kind of like accidentally fired. Ooh, what about not causing the glass case to be destroyed, but causing the gun to be fired? The gun to be shot. Because it was an accidental shot, right? Dun dun. Okay. As they fought... He slammed him into the wall, didn't he? Yeah, wall is here. I think the punk got slammed into the wall? Isn't that what he said? So the old timer shoved the punk into the wall. Do we have shoved? Struck? I don't think it's struck, but let's see. Okay, yellow. So we're close. We're close. Yeah, I don't think I have all the words. Dude, the soundtrack's so good. Ooh. The fight continued to escalate, leading the punk to slam the old timer into the wall, but he didn't let up. The tourist. The old timer didn't shove the punk into the wall. He was the one doing the shoving. Wait, the punk shoved? For having such pride, it's hard to believe he would willingly make himself seem weak. I wonder what he has to say about that. Wait, what? Punk shoved the old timer. I couldn't read the sentence for some reason. I didn't understand it. Let's see. I'm back. About the fight. There were witnesses that saw it go down a bit differently than you described. Would you like to revise your statement? I don't know what you're talking about. I got nothing to hide and no reason to lie to the most pathetic authority here. Pathetic, eh? At least I would admit to having taken a hit, especially in a fight where I was the only person to walk away. If you're trying to say something, out with it. You falsified your testimony. The punk didn't slam you into the wall, you shoved him, there it is, in an attempt to disarm and disorient him. And in that moment, the only thing you did was widen the gap and he was able to get a stronger grip on his gun. Fine, yes, I got too aggressive, but I didn't back down. I kept up the pursuit because if I didn't, he would have shot me. You know that's the truth, detective. So don't fault a washed out pup for defending himself, even if he does have a tendency to embellish. Justice has no need for embellishment. I've made note of this and there's other details I'd like to go over with you. How much longer is this going to take? About the weapon. You described in your testimony that you disarmed him after he fired it, so why did I find it in one of the courtyard fountains? Perhaps you had a reason to dispose of the evidence? You want me to come clean, detective? I'll come clean. I told you he didn't know what he was doing, and neither did I. We were fighting over it, and it was fired accidentally. The sound, the kickback, the surprise of it all, it disoriented us both. He hobbled off backwards like I told you, but I was a bit winded as well. That's when the critic found me. I was in a rougher shape than I let on before, detective, but everything else is true. For what it's worth, I'm glad you could walk away, that you're safe. However, if you ever provide a witness testimony again, please consider presenting only the truth. Hi, bro. Completed a lead, apparently. Luckily for you, it's time for me to focus on my notes. Okay. So, now we have everything, and it's shoved. Actions. He shoved the punk into the wall. That's still not it. As they fought, as they struggled, as they... No, fought is probably good, right? Oh wait, was the punk shoved the old timer into the wall, maybe? Maybe the people are backwards? Okay, okay, no, it's definitely the other way around. I was just making sure, because you never know. Okay. Old timer shoved the punk into a wall, causing the gun to be fired? Do we have a different... Causing the gun to be dropped, maybe. No. It's not gun. Oh, shot to be fired. Oh. But we don't have fired, do we? And we do have all the keywords, because we just had the little circle around it. So we should be able to do it now. We're so close. Yeah, I was thinking maybe the gun dropped and it was like... Because it got dropped, it fired on its own. Let's look at the testimonies. Oh, this one is done now. The gun... Okay, wait, here. The gun was accidentally fired, but not at either brawler. Instead, the bullet struck the stone statue. Although the gun was then dropped into the fountain below, the old-timer didn't let up. The victim, injured and disoriented, tumbled over the balcony edge. The fight, which spanned the gallery and courtyard balcony, escalated when the victim brandished a gun. The old-timer took the offensive, attempting to disarm him. Oh, it is a laser pointer, yeah. That makes sense. Causing the statue to be shot. That is something we could try. Because we had statue. Yes. Because of the picture. As they fought, the old-timer shoved the punk into a wall, causing the statue to be shot. When it fell... it struck the glass case below. Objects. And then the alarm triggered. Oh, and then... wait, the alarm. And then... what's the word we're looking for? Tripped the alarm. Oh. I thought I had it. Okay, it's still red, so we should be able to do this bit. That seems like a good one to me, but... destroyed the case below? Ooh. Yes! Smart, smart, smart. When it fell, it destroyed the glass case below and then tripped the alarm. Okay, we still keep going. So I'll go... do you guys want me to like move myself here for now so you can see the bottom thing? Or yeah, I should, right? Soon after from the and into maybe that the gun got dropped into the fountain? Into a fountain from the balcony. Because it got dropped from the balcony, right? The something. Maybe the old timer dropped the gun from the balcony. Maybe. Close. The punk dropped it? I thought he was like... oh yeah, you're right. Soon after, the punk dropped the gun from the balcony into a fountain. Cool. We can still keep going. Oh my god. Okay, the tourist looked on, for sure. Well, or the old-timer, but... as the punk accidentally... which took a... when it... the tourist looked on... because the tourist witnessed everything, right? About the film camera. Ooh, yeah, you might be right. The tourist looked on as the punk accidentally shot his gun, which took a... oh, you might be right. Camera, which took a picture when it hit the ground. Struck the ground? Fell? Floor? Picture? Photograph. Tourist looked on as the... oh! The podcaster dropped his camera. Oh, we have to keep going. The tourist looked on as the podcaster accidentally dropped his camera, which took a photograph when it struck the floor. Honestly, that might be good. The something then, it's something. The tourist then, its camera? No. Podcaster then hid the film, stole it. Did we get the film from her? Hid its film? That could be it. Or took its film. Stole the film. Haha! Yay! Another section done! The tourist looked on as the podcaster accidentally dropped his camera, which took a photograph when it struck the floor. The podcaster then stole its film. Okay, we still keep going. By this time, the punk maybe, had moved into the other room. It was already, so he... I wonder if it's like the punk had moved into the other room. Although we don't have moved. No. The guard? The mouse? The doodle of the mouse is important, isn't it? Who is that again? The student? Retreated? Retreated is good. The mouse is section in the book. The testimony. Yeah, let's see. Entered the museum, found his admission was paid. He is friends with the punk, right? He heard an argument beginning upstairs. Didn't think much of it. When it sounded like the argument had escalated, he decided to move quickly towards the foyer and leave. It was then... Oh, that's the doodle. Him going to the exit, or the entrance. It was then that he heard the gunshot, causing him to hesitate. Then the alarm was triggered, locking the door just a moment before he could escape. Cornered, fearful, and sensing a greater possible threat, the student retreated into the sculpture exhibit. Retreated. Sculpture exhibit. Retreated. Sculpture exhibit. He hid in the sculpture exhibit. And this is foyer, isn't it? Foyer, I think people say. By this time, the student had retreated into the foyer, but I think maybe this is not retreated, but the other one. Or he hid. Oh, sorry, no, I was gonna say hid. By this time, the student had... Maybe he retreated after all. He did say retreated in his statement, right? But the door was already locked. Ah, that's it. Museum was locked? Closed? Maybe a door, yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Yes! By this time, the student... Oh. I want to read it. This case is continuing to clear up, but it feels like there's another thread to pull. There's no use calling it a wrap before I know for certain what happened. By this time, the student had retreated into the foyer, but the door was already locked, so he hid in the sculpture exhibit. All right. Then, a bunch of blanks. I'll move to the down below in a little bit, but we need new information now. Do you think we can either get the film or maybe... Okay. Piggy has nothing to say. Yeah, maybe we can unlock the door or check on the film. Okay, you're fine. Can't talk to you either. I hate to rearrange the curator's exhibits without permission, but I think that's probably the least of their concerns right about now. A keyhole hidden behind the artwork, and it's opened a secret doorway. Now that never gets old. No, it doesn't. Ooh, here we go. Yes, it led us right into the museum's back room. I see a computer there on the desk. That's probably my best bet to get a hold of the security system data. I'm sure there's plenty of other things to investigate as well, so let's get to it. All right. Pretty sturdy box of tools and fairly well stocked for a museum. They're all in pretty fine shape too, considering the layer of dust on most of them. This is a good looking screwdriver. Never know when you'll need one of those. Did I take one? I did. Ah, okay. Someone hung a few drawings on the wall here. Rainbows, dinosaurs, and rocket ships are all standard fare for a child with crayons. Looks like the museum and an avian family there too. Not much to go on here, but cute nonetheless. There's an old photograph hanging here. It's a bit faded. 6 people standing together, posed for some sort of occasion. There's the curator, the guide, and the guard, but I don't recognize the other 3. Might turn out superfluous to the investigation, but I bet I can learn more. Oh, good. Kept it. This seems important. Let me save the computer for last. This case has proven complex enough that I can't afford to miss any details. Besides, this bookshelf is organized far better than the one in my office, so it's much easier to find anything intriguing. Like this! A file folder marked classified. I could never overlook that. I suppose it's not unusual for a museum to keep sensitive documents, but these are redacted so excessively, even for a contract. Except one phone number. Weird. I wonder who's on the other end. I could give it a call. This feels a bit familiar. Hope I won't have to deal with 2 password fiascos in one night. It's unlocked! Quite the stroke of luck. Now, let's see about that security system. Most of the data here is obscured, probably encrypted. I suppose that's how they can justify keeping it unlocked. But it's most certainly a record archive. I can make out entries for exhibit openings, doors locking, and the alarm being triggered. Unfortunately, user information isn't revealed. There's no clear indicator of who or what these signals are from. Looks like there's an export data function, and it doesn't require an administrator's override. I'll have this data to the station and decrypt it in no time. For such a sophisticated system, this seems pretty easy. Oh, because it's exporting to a floppy disk. Well, beggars can't be choosers. I've got what I need. Cool. So let's go to the exit then. Check if the picture got developed, and also check if we can give this floppy to the goose. Police department. Let's see if there's anything else they can help with tonight, as long as the officer hasn't gone home already. Detective, hope the case is coming along smoothly. What can I do for you? I hate to be an inconvenience, but I've got something else to send to the lab. No sense of making you wait around, so here I am! What you got there, detective? Is that a real-life save icon? It's a floppy disk! The museum security system uses these for some reason, but I have no way to decrypt it. Ah, you're right. This isn't going to fit in a USB slot or a CD drive. Honk! Ask one of the older officers about it. They'll know how to hack it. After a while, I'll call for an update. Sounds like a plan. I'll get these logs back to you as soon as I can. Unless my luck's run dry, this could lead to another breakthrough. Keeps getting later, so here's hoping. Okay. Strange number. Amongst all that redacted information, anyone could be on the other end. Thank you for calling Fennec Financial, your trusted partner in financial and creative services. Creative. Unfortunately, our office is currently closed. If you are a current client, you may dial your extension now and leave a message. Your account manager will return your call as soon as possible. If you are a prospective client, please leave your number, name, and a brief message. A member of our team will reach out soon. We look forward to bringing your artistic dreams to life. An investment firm, huh? I guess it makes sense for a museum to seek some reliable funding, but why all the secrecy? I doubt the curator will give me anything, and chances are slim that one of the other suspects knows about Fennec Financial, but it's worth trying. Okay. The picture. Oh, I can't look at these. Ask around for more information. Okay. Well, I can talk to both of you. Keys. Wait a minute. You have your keys on you? Well, yeah. Can't you see I'm holding them right in front of you, detective? You are, aren't you? It doesn't look like the developers gave you that animation. But they're right there in stunning detail. The developers? Don't worry about it. That's not even the strangest part. If you have your keys, then whose do I have in evidence right now? Never mind, forget it. We should move on anyways. The developers didn't give you an animation. Holy shit. About this photo. I noticed the museum's current staff, but I'm not sure about the others. What can you tell me about them? Oh wow, I never got my own copy of this photo. We took it at a staff dinner. Must have been a couple years back now. That's... Oh, that older fella there, that's the mechanic, but he's sadly passed away now. Mechanic. I guess seeing him again kind of hit me all at once, you know? My apologies, I didn't know. It's okay, detective. I just wish you could have met him. I think you'd have gotten along well. He was mighty grumpy, but he had a heart of gold, and I tell you, he loved this museum, as much as he complained about it. Ah, yeah, I know the type. Sorry for your loss. It's alright. Time moves on, and so do we. And hey, if there's a way I could get a copy of that photo when this is all over, I'd appreciate it. I'll see what I can do. Why don't we discuss other matters for now? But I am done with you. Let's see what I have to ask you about those drawings. What drawings do you mean? In the maintenance room, there was a handful hung on the wall, in crayon, I believe. I strained to understand why you would ever need to know anything about that. Does your snooping understand no discretionary bounds? This case has proven very complex, Curator. I need to understand any possible angle or motive from everyone. Well, my son isn't one of your suspects. He's quite young and I do not see him enough anymore. Until you can look at me with a straight face and prove pinning his scribbles on the wall is a crime, don't ask me about it again. Okay. These files. I have reasons to believe tonight's events may have been influenced by outside forces, and these documents have strengthened that suspicion. Unfortunately, there isn't much left for me to investigate. Could you tell me more about them? You're wasting your time and mine. Those are very standard for an institution such as this one. Then why go through the effort of redacting so much of it? It was the investment firm policy, so I obliged. They kept the museum afloat, and I didn't argue, nor did I believe there was a reason to. Seems extreme for what you're describing, but this isn't my specialty, so I'll take your word for it. Do you think they maybe took a loan from the piggy mafia? I'd like to get your word on something else if you wouldn't mind. I would expect nothing less. These logs. I exported them from the museum's security system, and ultimately there's no need to disclose this, but I thought it was the right thing to do. Oh, fuck. I understand you're just operating in the best interest of myself and the museum, so I can't fault you for that. I'm operating in the best interest of truth, which these shall facilitate. Oh, silly me, in the pursuit of justice and all that. How could I forget? I don't see how you'll make use of them when they're stored on a floppy disk, but do what you must. Do what you must! I'll do my best. You can count on that. For now, there's more I'd like to discuss. One more thing, I think? This photo. I found it while investigating. I recognize you and the other staff, but could you tell me more about the other 3 people pictured here? This is another scenario where my wings are tied, Detective. I am not at liberty to disclose the details of their identities. They were, in one way or another, all associated with the museum in the past, but I can't say any more than that. Why not? Why the secrecy? It's a wonder how you get anything done these days with so much red tape. Like you wouldn't believe. Do you have something else to discuss? I don't think I have anything else new. Waiting for results. Yeah, waiting for results for the film and the alarm. Oh, the financial fiasco is a new thing. There's a phone number still visible on one of the contracts. Automated message was for a private investment conglomerate. Curator confirmed my suspicion about the contracts with the investment firm. Museums seek additional funding all the time. Baby! Oh, Snooky Man! He just been eating for sure. He licking his lips. Oh, did you get bored? Did you want to come say hi? Oh, we're both purple today. Yeah, we're matching. You want to come hang out? Such a sweet boy. You ready to flop? You want to do big floppy? Hey, baby. How's it going, huh? Oh, there he goes. Oh, there he goes. Yeah. That's better, huh? Purple and purple. Yeah. I wonder if I do it subconsciously. Like, I see BB's purple sweater and I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll wear purple today. Because I match up with him quite a lot. Yeah, sweet boy. Alright. So we have the files, the picture. We have some new keywords, but I'll leave that open. Maybe the staff? Yeah, knows more about the picture. The old photo, yes. I see you pictured here next to the curator and the guard. Could you tell me more about the others? Oh yeah, for sure. That's the historian. Okay, so we have the mechanic and the historian. Although after I was hired, it wasn't too long before she left. Regardless, in that short time, I looked up to her vast expertise. It was like she just knew everything about art history, culture even, anthropology. Do you know why they decided to part ways with the museum? BB is saddled. He's like melting into my arm. No, I don't. It was pretty unceremonious. In fact, I came in for my shift on one day and realized it happened a couple weeks since I saw them last. Okay. I'll have to keep asking around. Until then, would you mind talking with me about some other things? No, that's it though. Let's see if Piggy knows anything. Oh no, that's not where Piggy is. Oh, but I can't talk to you. Salutations. Oh, oops. I'm trying to like... I have one hand on BB and one finger on the joystick. Photo. I doubt you would know much about it, but do you recognize anyone other than the staff, museum staff pictured here? The gentleman there looks like some kind of technician. Does that help? I can't operate solely on assumptions and impressions, but it's the thought that counts. Alright. Go upstairs. Yes. You have yet to acquire new attire. I do not approve. Yet to acquire new attire. Photo. You wouldn't happen to recognize any of the people pictured here, would you? Aside from the obvious. Oh dear, now that's a face I didn't expect to see when I woke up this morning. Who's that? The gentleman there on the right side. He's an investor. That's it. So you have mechanic, historian, and investor. One of unscrupulous morals. We've only crossed paths a couple times, and I'd consider myself lucky to never do so again. Quite the strong opinion. Well, I have other inquiries to make before I go, if you wouldn't mind. Baby looks so cute. You just chilling, baby? Yeah? You cozy? Maybe the old timer knows something, because he's been in the field for a while. He has connections. I was wondering if you could tell me more about this person pictured here, the historian. Sure can. She was an absolute fount of knowledge. No one could shut down the critics' incessant debating faster. Do you know why they parted with the museum? Aside from being destined for greater heights than this, I don't know the details, but I always heard it was a budget issue. If you want my opinion, it was the best thing that could have happened to him. I wouldn't have been surprised if they volunteered. Interesting. Do you know what's happened to them since? I heard they were heading up a department in Weaselton, DC. Washington. Weaselton. But at one of those national museums. I see. Unlikely to be connected to tonight's event then. Let's see if I have any more questions. Okay. Cool. Who else should we talk to? Oh, I could talk to you again. Because we know something now about the investor. Must we, detective? I simply have nothing positive to say. I have reason to believe he may be intertwined with this, so I'm doing my due diligence on the matter, that's all. Intertwined? It wouldn't surprise me if he had an icy grip on it, detective. That's his business. That cursed Fennec Financial preys on downtrodden artists, failed institutions, and any client they can swindle. Of course, everything starts to look up in the beginning, and you put even more trust in them. The good days won't stop. Oh, big stretch. There you go. He's had enough already. Okay. Then it's a miscalculation, an unfortunate circumstance, and before you know it, you're in more debt than you could imagine. Oh, so new keyword, debt. And only one way out. Trust the process. A process that's designed to eat you alive forever. I have nothing positive to say on the matter. I may regret asking, but I must. Is this a personal matter for you? Art is personal. It's human, wonderfully flawed. And those corporate suits, I almost said, and those corporate sluts only understand cold, destructive, and disturbingly calculated. Can't say I understand, but I'd like to think I can empathize. I'm not sure what to say, so why don't we move on to another discussion? Okay. We haven't spoken to the podcaster in a while. Oh. Do you know anything about the investor? I hate to be too persistent on the matter, but are you positive you don't know anyone pictured here? I've given that some thought, and I feel guilty. Would you allow me to be honest with you? I don't know why I couldn't bring myself to say so, but the technician I pointed out there was my father. He was, I see. Sorry for your loss. I respect your kind words, but they are not required. Some of my very early memories are within this museum, in a time before the curator took over. He's just chilling. He left this place, and with how infrequently he acknowledged it, even with how infrequently he acknowledged it, I knew what he meant when he said there was no reason to ever retire. I spoke to the guard about him, and he said as much. It sounds like he was well respected. Yes, I believe he was, but after many years, retirement was chosen for him. He didn't live long after that. He would always say, if I sit down, I'm not going to be able to stand back up, but I never took that literally. My dearest apologies. I didn't mean to open old wounds. I know it can be hard. I hope you wouldn't mind if I move on to another topic. Okay. Interesting. It's all connected, isn't it? Okay, you have nothing for me. Let's check in on the podcaster. No, nothing there. Okay. So... Oh! It's red! We can do this page now. Holy shit. Can we? I feel like I haven't learned anything. Hold on, let me look at this first. The state-of-the-art security system. Upon further investigation, it's not always as it seemed. I discussed it with the curator. It could recognize registered users. The security system does log every interaction it witnesses, and with these database logs, I'm one step closer to cracking this case. Okay. Left behind in the maintenance room was a photo from when the museum employed 5. The artist presented further details on the subject. It's hard to say what inspired this change of heart, but the artist apologized for being dishonest. The mechanic was his father, who passed away after retiring. There was a phone number still visible on one of the contracts, which was the private investment conglomerate. The curator confirmed my suspicions about the contracts with the investment firm. Museums seek financial funding all the time. When I asked the critic about the investment firm, he told me their negative reputation preceded them. They're known for being predatory and underhanded. Okay, that should give us quite a bit. I think that's what it's about, but... an old photo. Let's see. Photograph. There was an old photograph. A strange... So this is about the back room. Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot to do this. Oh, that was what was in the back room. I see. There was an old photograph, a strange contract, and the computer. Accessible from the back room? Back room on the desk? Would that be it? I feel like that's probably not it, but... Logs on the computer. Ooh, that might be... That's a nice one, yeah. Do we have logs? We do. Okay. That might be a good one. Hold on. Okay. No, this is very wrong. Back room on the balcony. Locations. I think you're right. Something is accessible from the computer. Oh. Okay, so let's try logs. And the logs accessible from the computer on the... we don't have desk though, do we? Gemstone, gun, key, logs, painting, phone, receipt, sculpture, statue. Desk is in places. Oh! Okay, computer. Okay, I think we're close. What was on the computer? The alarm system? I mean, we could try that. Oh! You're right! And the alarm, accessible from the computer on the desk. Okay, so... this top section then must be how we got in there, right? Maybe how we got the keys from... Who was it? The artist gave us the keys? The key to the back room? Maybe. Location. Key to the back room on the... Statue hit the door. Ooh. Or an artwork. A sculpture? Hit? But it's not the key to the back room. And, door to the back room? Is it an object? Yeah. Oh. Sculpture hit the door to the back room on the... What balcony is that? Modern art balcony? Fine art? Was it fine art? It was something by the from the sculpture. So we know that the guard bumped into the artist, dropped it, and the artist picked it up. Is what he said, but the guard has his own copy of keys. Do you think the artist just still has his dad's copy of the key? Because his dad used to work at the museum? The guide lost hers? Yeah, the guide did lose hers, and she was using the guard's keys. by the key from the artist. That actually might work. But it was unlocked. Oh, unlocked maybe. Do we have unlocked? Opened. Ooh, we're close. It was opened by the key from the artist. Maybe it's not a sculpture. Although we say sculpture balcony. Can I see? So it's to the right of here. Sculpture exhibit, yeah. It could be exhibit balcony instead of sculpture balcony. Haha! A sculpture hid the door to the back room on the exhibit balcony. It was opened by the key from the artist. There was an old photograph, a strange contract, and the alarm, accessible from the computer on the desk. Okay. In the photograph, I think this is. In the photograph was the renowned historian. The grumpy mechanic and the shady investor. Okay, it seems between the blah blah and the blah blah put the blah blah into blah blah, but nothing was blah blah. Hey, BB. BB is voicing the detective's inner thoughts right now. Food, milk. Not that BB drinks milk, of course, but... Put the museum into debt? Ooh. But nothing was what? Contract between the investor and the museum? Or the curator? Put the museum into debt? But nothing was... But nothing was... Whoa! Green immediately! In the photograph we had the historian, the mechanic, and the investor. It seems the contract between the investor and the curator put the museum into debt, but nothing was revealed. So, meaning the debt is secret? Conversely, the debt maybe will be to learn more. The logs will be examined by the police to learn more. The logs are for the alarm, not the debt though. The contract isn't at the police right now. What does conversely mean? Oh, we don't have examined. On the other hand, oh, I see. I was thinking contrarily or something. Hacked? Ooh, maybe hacked, yeah. Do we have the police though? I don't think so. Officer? The goose. Yeah! Oh my god! Aha! Only the best cases have secret rooms and mysterious figures. This one even has redacted documents. Doesn't get better than that. Let's keep digging. Digging. If we're exceptionally lucky, we'll uncover something paranormal too. BB's sitting right by my chair. He's just like, just chilling. Oh, did you hear me say your name? Yeah. Come to think of it, I should check with the officer again about that film. It might be developed by now. Let's go have a look. What does the picture show us? The film. I'm just checking back on that film I had you pick up. How's it going? Good news. I just got word from the lab that it's done. I'll be over to show you. Can't you just Good evening again, Detective. You know, you could have just told me the important details over the phone. You didn't have to drive out here again. Ah, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. Haven't you ever heard that, Detective? Honk! As for this one, the angle is a bit skewed, and it looks like it was taken in motion, so it's a bit blurry. But if you look right here, it's a tail! A thin white tail. The student! In the sculpture gallery. According to his testimony, he would have been in the foyer when this photo was taken. That was a lie. I couldn't have asked for a better breakthrough, officer. This really is a huge help. I need to get back in there. Post haste! Go for it, Detective. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to call again. I love the officer. Everything's coming together now. The officer is so nice and so helpful. What a cutie. You're under arrest! You're guilty! Actually, I just have some questions for you. Oh. Why can't I examine the vent? Oh, I did it again. The photo. Would you mind taking a look at it and telling me what you see? Well, I don't really see much, Detective. It was pretty blurry. What about right here? Does that thin white tail look familiar to you? Are you trying to say that's my tail? I guess it does look pretty similar, but what of it? By all my calculations, this would put you in a pretty interesting place at a pretty interesting time. I don't know what you're talking about. You can see my tail, but there's no way to tell what's going on out of frame. As much as you'd like to deny it, the implication is too strong. I'm giving you a chance to confess here before it's too late. I have nothing to confess. I'm innocent. It's until proven guilty, isn't it? You're right, so I'll just have to prove it. Until then, I have no other questions. Okay, Detective, if you say so. What is going on here? That accidental photograph proves I should investigate every potential hiding place, and this one is a prime suspect. And with this screwdriver, ooh, I should be able to... Aha! I found it! The Optimus Diamond! And in an air duct! Careful now. This gemstone is worth more than all 9 of my lives. Do you think he's gonna drop it and it's gonna shatter, meaning it's a fake and not a diamond? Immediately into evidence with you. What's this? There's something else in here. A rolled canvas. Wait a second, even I recognize this. But isn't it supposed to be hanging in the fine art gallery? Oh no, I've got a sinking feeling this case isn't as closed as I thought. I should show this to an expert I can trust. Okay, I can't... Oh, this is an artwork. Oh, are we gonna show the... Oh, maybe actually the guide. But I was thinking about the critic. Because the critic is the one who says, like, half of these artworks are already fake. BB, what's going on? He's so cute. Let's see if I can take a picture to show you guys how he's sitting here. He's right by the computer. So cute. The diamond. I saw you open the air duct over there. If I know you've already found the diamond, so you don't have to be so dramatic. Once you had the photo, I knew my time was up. Oh, cuff me or whatever you have to do. Luckily for you, this case isn't closed yet. I have a few threads that still need pulled, so you have a bit longer till I draw conclusions. Whatever you say. It's easier than you think. Well, not too easy considering we couldn't pull it off, but still. The punk opened the display and I took the diamond. Then he went upstairs to create a distraction for me. After that, I just had to wait for the foyer to be empty and make my way out. But I heard the gunshot go off. We agreed it was only a last resort. I know he wouldn't have killed anyone, but it made me hesitate. When I decided to leave him behind, the doors were already locked. The security system was supposed to recognize him, but I guess that didn't work. So I moved to the backup plan and tried to wait it out. I see. I have plenty more questions. Why did you do it? What kind of question is that? If I have a really good reason, it's not like it'll suddenly be okay. No, probably not, but it can help me build a better picture of what's happened. And sometimes it can help. So please be honest. It's worth a lot of money, you know? Split 2 ways, even 3, 4, or 5 ways. That's still a ton. This is gonna sound so cliche, but with that kind of money, the punk could have finally paid for a surgery. Surgery? For what sort of condition? Something with his heart. I don't know much about the really intimate details. They don't bleed right. They have a weak pulse, some muscle deficiency. Look, I'm not a doctor, and frankly, I don't hold up well to anything medical. It's just bad, okay? This was the only way we really could have fixed it, I think. Sounds a lot more redeemable than, say, buying a tropical island somewhere, don't you think? Whatever, it doesn't matter now. Perhaps it doesn't. Would you mind if I asked a few more questions then? If you say so. About the punk. You said you were friends. Would you mind telling me a bit more? I don't know what there is to say, and if you're just fishing for more evidence, well, I don't have anything to say. Now, I was hoping you could just tell me more about him. Would that be okay? Like what? He was a punk through and through. All my other friends from university said he was just a bad influence. Maybe they were right. He apparently got me tied up in all of this, didn't he? Ah, no, that's not fair. Besides, I've known him for far longer than anyone, so what do they really know? How long did you know each other? We were just kids, meeting like any two kids do. I don't even remember what it was exactly. Probably trading cards or a video game. Kid stuff. Stuff that bullies would make fun of you for, at least until they got a swift right hook to the nose. He had your back, I can understand that. And I had his, or I was supposed to. At least enough to hold him back. Detective, I know this will sound strange, but I just don't want to hold on to this right now. It's hard to look at. Can you take it? What is it? You shouldn't blame yourself for what happened. I know it's not that easy, but I hope you can trust me on that. What did we take? I happened to find it alongside the gemstone. Did you have anything to do with it? You have to trust me, Detective. This time I am telling you the truth when I say I have no idea why that was in there. So you noticed it was in there earlier this evening? I did, but there wasn't enough time to think about it. Has it stumped you as it stumped me? Unfortunately, yes, for now. After I make more inquiries with you, I'm going to get back to investigating it. About your plan. How did you know to hide the diamond in the sculpture gallery? We decided on it beforehand. I know it might seem like we were just a pair of amateurs, especially since everything fell apart, but we gave it some thought. Look at me. What am I even saying? Trying to justify I'm good at being a criminal. The truth is, oh, what a long meow. We were hired to do it, but only the punk ever communicated with them. They were hired. And they were prepared to deal with pretty much every contingency. They knew it all, except for the security system, I guess. They told us about it, but the punk figured out how it actually worked so we could get around it. Ooh. I hacked his ID into the system remotely. It seemed really easy to accomplish in the moment, but in retrospect, that's why we had a backup plan. And that was... if, for some reason, I couldn't get to the front doors or they were locked, which they were, I was supposed to go into the sculpture gallery and put it in the air duct. Whoever hired us was willing to have someone come through and pick it up later, but that's all we were told. So presumably they would have had other means of entry. Someone like staff? Perhaps they just needed someone to get it out of the display. Strange. I mean, whatever you think, Detective. Like I said, we had pretty explicit instructions, and it seemed like whoever they were, they had a lot of contingencies. Not some amateur thieves is right. I've got a few other topics to address before I move on. No, that's it. Interesting. Oh, look at the animation. That was so cute. How they fixed their bow tie. I've discovered it under strange circumstances, the artwork. So would you mind looking over it for me? I hope those strange circumstances weren't taking it off the wall and out of its frame. No, not as simple as that. The exhibit is still hanging right where you last saw it. That's because... the original is still hanging there and this one is a counterfeit. The inconsistencies are subtle, especially in this style. Why would something like this be here, Detective? You know, don't you? I have my suspicions, but nothing definite yet. I'm afraid. Did we believe? Oh no. I don't like this one bit, and if you find out more, you'll tell me, right? Only what I'm at liberty to disclose, but I'll continue to rely on your expertise as needed. Well, if I were you, I'd look over any other artwork you've come across tonight. Who knows what else could have been missed? A good idea, but until then, I might have a couple more things for us to go over. Okay. I want to show it to the critic, I think. Oh, move your cam up. True, although... I should probably stay down because we're gonna do... Wait. This one. Because the text is gonna be up above. Oh, they actually have nothing to say. I did see... There. The student attempted to hide as he heard the terrible sound of shattering glass. What do we need to dispute here? His own thing? Because he came clean, didn't he? Entire mystery as far as hinged on this very specific moment, and the solution is crystal clear. What do you guys think? Oh yeah, he wasn't hiding. He was hiding, but he was hiding the diamond. Yeah. He was trying to hide the diamond he had stolen. He stashed it in the air duct, but he couldn't have come up with this backup plan on the fly, right? Okay. See if there's anything else I need to dispute. The motive. Sell off the rare gemstone in an insurance fraud or embezzlement scheme. How do we dispute that? The contract? Oh, you're right. Embezzlement was an assumption, and probably a pretty extreme one at that. But for the curator to pay off the museum's debts with the gemstone, that is certainly plausible. Oh, okay. Baby, don't do it! Look at my leg. Okay. I need to inform the curator that the gem has been recovered. Okay. About the diamond. Oh, now BB's sitting exactly on my other side of my legs, like he was before. To an extent, I have. You'll be pleased to know that I've recovered the jewel. Oh my, wonderful! It can be returned to its podium and we can call it a night. Unfortunately, more questions have been raised in the process. I'm gonna need to keep it for a bit and continue my investigation. This better not be some bureaucratic tomfoolery you're pulling. Although I suppose the display case was broken, so the diamond might be more safe in your care. For now. I appreciate your understanding. I don't want to act too hastily and allow something like this to occur again. That is a concern I hadn't considered. Fine, but don't push your luck. You've already been sniffing outside my authority and I've excused it thus far. As I've said before, I do what must be done in the name of true justice, however long it takes. Although the officer probably has some crucial evidence ready that could speed this investigation up for you, curator. Okay. Okay. That's another one done. Oh my god, there's only 3 left. Oh, the forged artwork. I can't help but get that sinking feeling that perhaps there's other artwork in the museum that's falsified, but where should I even start? Yeah, how would we know where to look? Maybe the logs would tell us, like, when certain cases have been opened? What else around here could be falsified? We don't have everything yet for the keywords. Speak to the artist. Ooh, good shout. Which way is he again? Let's see. Oh, I can look at the case again. This is the pedestal where the stolen gemstone was placed. The placard. Optimus Diamond circa 1700. You really gave me the runaround, didn't you? Precious little stone. Regardless, I'm glad you're safe. The debris. You know, there are plenty more pieces of this statue laying about. Perhaps I should take time to look over at least one more. This is likely just wishful thinking on my part, but it couldn't hurt. Like these pieces? Or do the one I have on me? Oh yeah. Okay, nothing there. Oh! Oh, a kitty! Forgery! knew there was something else here. A second examination was necessary. A bit later than that, maybe I should have. There's no use dwelling on that now. This is an indication of forgery. Strange one, but I bet the guide will know more. Ah. So they left a little, like, signature on it. Which would destroy the purpose of it being a forgery, but... wait. Let's see... I have my suspicions with this one, but I'd like you to confirm just in case. Are these pieces of the miniature Moai statue? Wait, you had a right to be suspicious. Just look at this sculpture's stamp. It must also be a fake. Well, what's left of it anyway. That makes 2 counterfeit art pieces here in the museum, and this one was on display. Do you really think it could have been replaced by someone? You must have some idea. At this point, I think it's clear. There was something else going on behind the scenes, but I'm not sure what. For now, I have a couple other things. Okay. Ooh, that did it! Oh my god, we're flying through these. So, we can do this now. So the gem was going to be replaced by... No. The gem was going to be taken by the student when he... The person did something of the... into the soda. Could be. At the very bottom it says causing the alarm to be triggered, maybe? Because that wasn't part of the plan. What do you guys think about the start of it? Museum is selling the pieces for money. Yeah, to clear their debt. I think so. Do you think this is about the gem? The plan with the punk and the student? Yeah. The gem was going to be... Oh, the ID is a keyword as well. The ID got put into the computer, right? Oh, the ID of the punk into the computer. Hacked, maybe? Punk. And then the student did that. Now I think the punk opened the... yeah, hacked maybe. The student hacked the ID of the punk into the computer so the glass case could be opened. Yeah, opened. That might be good, but we have to do the top part to check if it's right. The gemstone was going to be taken, stolen. No, it's going to be stashed by the student. Oops. When he heard the alarm? Do we have heard or something? No, not really. Stolen by the punk? Yeah. Maybe tripped the alarm? But probably not. Yeah. Also, that means that 2 or more are wrong. I think 4 or more, so definitely had to do something different here. Tripped the alarm. What did I put in just now? Stolen by the punk when you opened the case. Oh yeah, that might be a good one. The alarm was going to be tripped by this punk when he opened the case, so the student hacked his ID into the computer. That might be a good one. I like the sound of that. Because we need to like rethink this whole section because there were too many errors. The alarm was going to be tripped by the punk. When he opened the glass case. No, shit. The alarm was going to be tripped by the punk when he opened the glass case, so the student hacked the idea of the punk into the computer so the glass case could be opened. Let's look at the case file again. I have 2 replica art pieces, one from its exhibit, another from an air duct. The painting was hidden in the air duct, then was the statue. Oh, this is done now. Enter the museum, paid in advance for the student. Waited to meet the student, double check their plans, set out to create the distraction. The fine art gallery, the punk provoked the old timer. Then the shot got fired accidentally. No one was hit. Disoriented, the punk backpedaled towards the balcony of the natural history exhibit, then fell over the edge. The fall was fatal. Oh, so that's why he has 2 blows to the head. One is from getting shoved into the wall and the other is from falling off the balcony. Oh, that's probably it. When he stole the gem, the alarm was going to be tripped by the punk when he stole the gem. We can try that. Kinda wish I could use... The alarm was gonna be tripped by the glass case? No. It would be the curator ID that they stole to open the glass case. That's not what he said though, wasn't it? I thought that he literally said that they put the punk's ID in the system. Check for the alarm logs. Could call and see if it's ready. Can I call them both? Oh, oops. Appreciate your help on that one. Well, honk my horn, detective. That's high praise. You're welcome. Don't worry about me. You've got an investigation to take care of. Oh. Oh, and that he just hung up. I kept asking about the other one. The alarm. Has anyone at the station been able to crack into those logs, Ed? You're in luck. They just cracked it. Let me tell you, there is a lot here. Bad news is, there's far too much for me to relay over the phone. You really don't have to come over here to the museum again. It's fine. I wasn't planning on it. Honk! The lab told me I could, under no circumstances, print out all these logs and take them to you. Something about being 8 months off the station's paper budget, but it's searchable at least. Do you have anything you think I could cross-reference with the logs? That would give us a good place to start. I don't think so. What should I be looking for? From the looks of it, there's timestamps, exhibits, and registered aliases, among other things. It's pretty difficult to parse. Searching for a registered username would probably be the easiest, so I guess I'll call back when I have something like that. Searching for a username. Okay. Oh, and he picked up a night shift so he could keep helping. And also... the investment firm. Chances are we'll get the same answering machine message as before, so there's no reason to waste time trying. Okay. I was just checking because it was, like, not grayed out. Okay. So, it says something was added here. Alarm? Full access to it withheld with the police department, but no guidance on what to actually search for. If I can search the logs for a username, I might have a lead. Where would I find something like that? The student? No? You're not innocent. We actually know you're guilty. Look in your inventory. Nothing I can examine, though. Oh, I can examine these again. Oh, there's something here. Oh, member ID. Oh! That's good. Now we can... Ah. Internet alias. Yes, the username. Oh my god, we had it this whole time. Someone in chat is being smart. Damn. Back to Hyonk. Where did we stand on those security logs again? At the moment, I'm just waiting on some search terms to try. Have you found any? I think so, but I have a feeling I know what's going to come back. Could you try monkey wrench? That's definitely a unique one. Oh wow, I see it right here. This thing even keeps fingerprint records. Makes sense. And look at that. I have an entry here that says the user matching the ID opened the gemstone's display case earlier tonight. Good work as always, detective. Assuming that's the outcome you were hoping for. It was, yes, but more of a confirmation at this point. The student already confessed to hacking the punk's credentials into the system. Yeah, okay, there it is. So that's what we said. I may have spoken too soon. The username was registered, but then it was removed. Whoever did the removing was only registered a few minutes prior. And get this, detective, that new mystery user, they opened 3 exhibits tonight, none of which were for the diamond. Oh my. Can you derive any identifying information from their credentials? The username is just a jumbled mess of characters. Maybe we could decode it, but I have a feeling that won't get us far. I'd say we're working against someone who has this whole plot perfectly planned. You're right, it won't be that simple. If you say so. As always, I'll be here if you need me, detective. Like a felt fish on a string. Every time I get close, it gets yanked away. So yeah, the monkey opened the gem case. But someone who opened 3 other cases today then went and deleted their information from the system. Now, who would that be? I really think it's the student hacked the idea of the punk into the computer. So the glass case could be opened, but the fact that it's red means there's 4 or more mistakes, I think. I don't know if there's anyone we can talk to. No, he has nothing to say. Old timer. Medication. Do you know anything about it? Not for any particular reason, such as your advanced age. You weren't supposed to say that last part out loud, detective. Let me take a look. Yeah, I think so. Might have been one of those drugs my doctor recommended. What did they prescribe it for? Do you remember? They didn't prescribe it, first of all. I don't need to depend on a bunch of pills. Certainly don't want to keep track of them all. Sure, but what did they attempt to prescribe it for? Blood pressure, I think. Doctor mentioned something about anxiety, but I was really tuned out. You don't say. Well, thanks. There's more I'd like to get from you before I go. No, not really. Interesting. Okay, after decrypting the logs, I found that the security system was tripped because it didn't recognize the punk opening the case. His ID was replaced by something. Oh! Oh, I thought it was just because it broke still. So someone put his ID in the system, but someone else then deleted it before he actually used it. Then the glass case was destroyed by the falling statue. It was put into high alert. Wait, the security system was tripped because it didn't recognize the punk's ID. But then when the glass case was destroyed, it was put into high alert. So there's 2 stages to the alert. Oh, this is done now as well. Marked done. Okay, so we definitely learned something now. Maybe according to the logs, the ID was removed. Oh, yeah. The punk's ID was removed. According to the security logs. Replaced. However, according to the what? Computer logs? Maybe that? Security logs? Logs. Oh. Does this go with the next page? According to the computer logs, his ID was replaced, causing the alarm to be tripped. Yeah, I really think it's the student hacked the ID of the punk into the computer so the glass case could be opened. But then, what did we get so completely wrong in that first section? So the student hit the gemstone in the duct then, right? Yeah. Because that was their plan B. If the alarm was triggered. Oh, there's 3 openings there. Air duct is here. It might be like, what was it again? Fine art exhibit, air duct? And he hid it. Or stashed it. Oh, sculpture. I keep mixing up these departments. So the student stashed the gemstone in the sculpture exhibit air duct where... oh, the painting was also stashed. So maybe not stashed twice. Maybe it's hid and then stashed. An art or... it's not artifact because it's a artifact, a artwork. A counterfeit. Ah, what? How can we be so wrong? So the student hid the gemstone in the sculpture exhibit air duct. Or maybe not air duct, but vent. Location? No, there's no vent. I think it's alarm logs and door to be locked. According to the alarm logs. Ooh, ooh, ooh! That was really good! What was the other thing you said? Door to be locked. No. It wasn't... So... The first stage of the alarm was the ID not being correct, and then what actually locked the door was the glass case being shattered, I think. If I understand it correctly. So we're now at 2 mistakes, I think. I thought the door's locked and then the alarm went off. Could try it. Okay, that didn't change anything, so you might be right. The door to be locked. Yes! You're totally right! I had it wrong in my head. According to the alarm logs, his ID was replaced, causing the door to be locked. So the student hid the gemstone in the sculpture exhibit air duct, where a painting was also stashed. Okay. So we got the middle part, but we still need to redo the start. The alarm was going to be tripped by the student when he stole the gemstone. Do you think it's not the alarm tripping them, but the door to be locked? The door was going to be locked by the museum. No. I think it's this first bit we have to redo. Swap computer to alarm. That did work before, yeah. The punk was going to be paid by the client when he stole the gemstone. That sounds very good. Paid. Do we have paid? Oh, yeah. By person, the client. When he stole the gem. That's it, because of the doodle, right. The punk was going to be paid by the client when he stole the gemstone. The student hacked the ID of the punk into the alarm so the glass case could be opened. However, according to the alarm logs, his ID was replaced, causing the doors to be locked. So the student hid the gemstone in the sculpture exhibit air duct, where a painting was also stashed. According to the guide, it's a counterfeit. Painting. Counterfeit. Okay. So the statue is also a counterfeit. Artwork. Sculpture that was thrown. Was it thrown though, or did it fall because of the bullet impact? The statue that was shot, that was broken. That would be good, yeah. Sculpture? Which sculpture? I think it was a sculpture, not a statue, but it could be either. And what from the... Shot and fell from the balcony. Oh, ooh, oh, that's so smart. If that's it, you're a genius. Because I was like, the way it's phrased made me think that there were 2 other artworks that were kind of fit, but these are the 2. Ooh, we're close. Maybe sculpture, statue. Yes. Oh, you guys are so smart. Aha. I thought we were near a closed case, but this is a real mess. It's like I'm being led on some obscure scavenger hunt. Could it all be a massive conspiracy? No catnaps until we can say for sure. No catnaps allowed. All right. Oh, double check on that one. Double check mark. Oh, hey. Why do you want to talk? This ID card. You wouldn't happen to recognize anything about it, would you? I do, not that I could tell you much. I've seen the logo before, at least. Overly designed, if you ask me, especially for a low-tier biker club. A biker club? What do you mean? I'm sure you're familiar with the concept, Detective. There's just a bunch of names for them, although I don't know what these folks get into specifically. It could be anything from just tuning their bikes and going on rides to slinging high-grade oil, if you catch my meaning. Or anything in between. I'd have to assume that's a bit bigger than you could chew in one night, Detective, especially since you've already got your paws full here. Don't like blocking the kitty cat. I do, don't I? Well, in pursuit of resolving this mess, I've got some more inquiries to make. Okay, nothing from them. Nothing from you guys. Okay. Wait, what? You're not dead? Oh, hey, you're the detective, right? I am. Aren't you, dead? I'm real and still kicking. Just took a little nap on the floor. What? Wait, what? I took your pulse and everything. Well, I've been told I have a pretty subtle pulse. Something with my heart. Oh. But I never listened to the medical jargon. Wouldn't you see that he's still breathing, though? Anyway, the podcaster over there, she filled me in on what's been happening since I was out. What a twist! I think I'm supposed to do an interview about it. Didn't listen too well to that either, but I think I've got a solid excuse. Oh, of course. How are you feeling? Been better, been worse? I should probably get checked out, but I'm sure it's fine. It's like I faked my own death. That's some real underground black market stuff right there. It does certainly add an interesting wrinkle. Would you be open to answering some questions about what you remember? Whatever, man. I'll do my best. Great. What the fuck? You want to run through all the questions? Alright, I just figured since you've been at this a while, you'd know enough by now. At this point, not only are you a suspect, you're a perpetrator, and also a valuable witness. So yes, I will likely need to run through all the questions. So you got to the bottom of all this, huh? Guess I shouldn't be too surprised. I know you and the student were hired by a client to steal the Optimus Diamond, if that's what you mean. Damn, here I was hoping that maybe I could still take the fall for him, at least not literally this time. From the sound of it, you two are quite close. Is this familiar territory? Not for him. For me, sure, but this job was best suited for two, and he had the skills necessary. Not to mention it was obviously a huge score, so splitting it with him was easier to swallow, and he wouldn't stab me in the back. You have other associates then? Associates. Does this include your client? It's a network. I'm sure you're at least somewhat familiar, Detective. But nah, the client? Never heard of him before. Interesting. That raises a few more questions. What do you do? Besides getting mixed up in this sort of situation? I do work for a body shop, you know, for bikes and cars. Is that how you got involved with the biker club? In a roundabout way, yeah. Everybody knows everybody in those circles, at least in the city. And that network you mentioned, is this connection connected to that? There's overlap, but if you're after the client, they're not a regular fare. I don't know much about them. They had all the walls up. The student said they provided some pretty crucial information about the museum. You didn't think anything of that? Unless they pay us for it, clients bring their own intel, so no, it seemed standard. But they didn't know about the security system. Is that correct? Yeah, I thought that was weird, but we figured it out. Oh, they didn't tell you about the security system because they wanted you to get caught. We figured it out, the alarm wasn't our issue, we were just unlucky. Things went south. Seems that way. But there might be some details we can work out about why. Oh, oops. What were you doing? Leading up to everything, well, I came to the museum alone, paid admission for myself and the student. I knew he wouldn't have any money on him. Wandered around a bit, checked everybody out, eventually met him where the diamond was, and went over the whole plan again just to be safe. Is that when you decided to instigate an argument with the old-timer? As a distraction, yeah, but I don't know. He was a bit too eager to start something. Says the one who brought a gun. Look, I never meant to use it. It was like a backup of a backup plan. A last resort. The old-timer surprised me, so I wanted to get him back down is all. I need you to know I never intended to use it against anyone, just a little bit of intimidation. And how did that go for you? Not great. That's on me. At least you recognize that now. Let's continue on to the rest of the evening then, shall we? What happened? After I pulled out my gun, like I said, the old-timer shook off a decade or two and really started a fight. Kept my distance, but he was adamant about getting physical, so the brawl spilled out into the courtyard balcony. He got the advantage, shoved me against the wall, and before I knew it, we were struggling over the grip of the gun. I wasn't planning on using it, but I couldn't tell you who really pulled the trigger. Luckily, it didn't hit anyone. One way or another, the recoil put me off balance, and then he broke my grip against the stanchion. It was empty, so I let it drop into the courtyard. The rest is a bit of a blur, Detective. I must have taken a good hit or something. Next thing I know, I'm waking up on the floor. The ground floor. Broadly speaking, that lines up. I have some other inquiries to make, I think, if you're still up for it. Okay. About your ID card. Unfortunately, I can't return it just yet, but I was curious. It's for a biker club, correct? Yeah, you could call it that. A couple of guys at the garage got me into it, cause a bunch of the old bars have gone under by now. Nobody likes it, and they put up stupid fake names on our ID, but they serve drinks, got darts, so I don't complain too much. I was wondering about that. Monkey Wrench seemed fairly on the nose to be. Nothing other than formality. All of us treat it like a joke. The folks that run the place want to have that speakeasy vibe, but it doesn't really work. Okay. That is a crazy twist. You're so chill as well. Like, shouldn't you get your head checked for trauma? You must be surprised. Okay. So this doesn't add up from the student because the punk, like, it was their plan, right? That he would pay for it. Oh, actually, no, they didn't discuss that. Entered a museum, found his admission was paid in advance to begin touring. Should we use his own testimony? No. Timestamped records. Timestamped records. Should I use evidence instead? Or the receipt? We already tried that before though, didn't we? Considering I have time-stamped records, can't I confirm he came in with a more specific purpose? The records? Yeah, the actual records? Okay. The student intended to meet with the punk, but it wasn't just for a nice stroll through the exhibits. They met to make sure the hacked security system would let the punk open the glass case and allow the student to take the diamond. Okay. The punk. The fall was fatal. No, it wasn't, because the punk's testimony goes against it. In all my years as a detective, I don't know that I've ever corrected a testimony this obviously wrong. When the punk fell, he didn't die, he was just knocked out. I would know, I've spoken to him. Okay, that's all for that. So we only have these two things left. The financial debt stuff and the fake, the forgeries. This is lighting up like I have something new, but no. Okay. You can talk to the punk again. Oh yeah, he has more to say. Oh, why is it not on my... It doesn't let me do it. There we go. Oh, we can show him the alarm logs. They confirm you were registered with the museum's security system, so how did you do it? Student did. I told you had the skills necessary, didn't I? He's a wizard with a computer. I don't understand what he did, something with a backdoor and bad encryption. He found a way to remote in and made easy work of it. The two of you create quite the rap sheet tonight. You know that, don't you? It was always a risk, Detective. It just didn't pan out this time. Besides, we always said we'd either get rich together or go down together. Just had hopes it'd be the former. I've heard that one before, sadly. There are some other inquiries I'd like to make. The student. You mentioned he could handle the security system. What did you mean by that? Apparently it's infamous for having some fatal flaws. Something about networks and encryptions. It's sold as state-of-the-art, but it's all talk. Still, there was no way I could have dealt with it myself, and he's trying to make a decent living with all the computer stuff. Figured it was worth a shot. So you ask him to tamper with the alarm of a prestigious institution, and he's immediately on board? We've been inseparables since we were kids. A few years ago he found out what I was up to on the side, and didn't immediately disown me. Honestly, I was against it at first because I didn't want him getting involved in this type of work, but he was adamant he could get it done. Besides, he wouldn't have let me pay off all those loans he's got unless he earned his cut. I knew that for sure. And did your client know anything about the student hacking the security system? Never said they did, but as long as we got the job done, who cares? From what I can tell, I think they did, but I have more inquiries to make. The painting. Found it alongside the diamond, but the student didn't know why. Was it part of the plan you were aware of? Oh, no way! We were told to come in and get the jewel detective. Didn't hear anything about a painting. And this client of yours, did they inform you of their intentions with the gemstone? Not really, but I didn't ask. But do you really have to? It's pretty obvious. Setting up for a big payday, don't you think? That's what I assumed, but you can't ever be too sure. I may have another topic to discuss, and then I'll continue elsewhere. Okay. That was an insane twist. That he was just up and standing. Totally fine. Okay, said that was a new entry, but nothing I have to dispute. This might have to run with the thread, but where? If the painting was hidden in the air duct, then was the statue a fake? Yes. When I asked the critic about the investment firm, there was a negative reputation, known for predatory. This hasn't moved in a bit, this case information. Ask the goose about which exhibits were opened. I don't know if we can. I thought it was weird that they didn't specify which ones were opened. No, there's nothing to do. There's no icon on it. Yeah, it's grayed out. Did we look at the copy of the real painting? No. Where was that painting? Oh, he's standing by it. Such positive messages of love. Still a wonder why a replica would be here in the museum. If only these two could speak, maybe they'd have the answer. So that wasn't really anything. And we can't actually do this yet. Because we're missing keywords still. I don't know what that means, that lower part. They were in order, the something from the something from the something, the huh, and the huh, in the huh, with the huh. Can you talk with the guide? It's, no one has like a little speech bubble, so I have nothing new to say. There must maybe be something in my environment I can look at anew. Maybe we should go back to the back room. Nothing with this vent, right? No. The goose talked about 3 exhibits opening, and I think I remember something about examining the museum for more counterfeits. Maybe those have to be found. No, phone had nothing. If the painting was hidden in the air duct, then was the statue? Yeah, you would think it would imply that the statue, the real statue, is hidden somewhere as well. It fell from up here, didn't it? So maybe it's stashed somewhere here? Yes! This air duct has been witness to some pivotal moments of the evening. Let's just get it open and see what it can tell us. One more screw and got it. Look at that! Stone-faced statue! Never saw the exhibit in one piece, but this seems identical. There's no strange stamp on the underside, so it's safe to assume this is the original, and the one down there was the replica. But there's something else in here too. Not canvas though. A piece of paper? It's a note, neatly written, but I'm not sure what it means. Back on a classic trail of clues, detective. Just like the old days. Oh, it's a serial number. And here's the real one. Number 6. Okay, we have all of our evidence for the case. Okay. Alongside with the real statue, unlike the painting with the diamond, was a note marked with only a 10-digit number. Back to the computer, maybe? It's the only place I can think of putting in a number. Unless it's a phone number? We can try calling it. We can try looking at the logs, yeah. Okay, nothing here. Let me maybe check the phone. Oh, we found it in security logs. Yeah, we searched for Monkey Wrench, which was registered and then replaced by someone else. Whoever this new mystery user is, they opened up 3 of the museum's exhibits tonight, but there's not much more to learn than that. Yeah. Can we examine the paper? No, it won't let me. No examination. Oh wait, what does it say about it though? It doesn't look like a phone number. It's a bit too obscure to run through any police database. Oh, well, that answers our ideas. Could there be someone that recognizes it? Okay. Guard, curator, guide. No. No. Someone who works here. The mouse, maybe? Yeah. No, the guide. This note. It doesn't look like much to me. A string of 10 random numbers. Do you recognize it? I don't think so. We have internal identifications for the exhibits here, but I'm not familiar with anything in the format. Wishful thinking, I suppose. It's never that easy these days, huh? If you say so, detective. I'm sure there's someone who knows. Maybe the artist? No. The critic? Old-timer? No. The podcaster? Okay, it's not the tourist. The podcaster. Now, why would you know this? Do you recognize this pattern of numbers? You bet I do. That's the identification number for a book. Ah! I would know because I'm like super obsessed with all those trendy novellas, and sometimes you gotta double check the version you're buying isn't a scam. Do you happen to know which book this belongs to then? No way. There's like infinite books, so you're out of luck with me. Surely you know somebody that could check it out for you. Ha, a library pun. So cute. I should post that. Perhaps a bookstore could help. I might have some more topics to go over with you, but then I'll need to keep following this lead. Okay. So it's a book code. Call the bookstore from the beginning of the game. Oh yeah! We did call, yeah. It's ISBN, that's what it was called, yeah. God, I only checked ISBN numbers when I was in college. When you're hunting down a very specific book for like an essay or something. Considering my milky stupor from yesterday, I know they keep late hours, but let's hope it isn't too late. Book Gator on second. What can I do for you? Hello, sorry to bother you again. Detective, I didn't expect you this time. Have you gotten yourself into another mess? Luckily, no, but I'm unraveling a pretty complex case, an actual crime. And I've got this clue I'm not sure what to make of. Can't disclose too much, but I've got this series of numbers here and reason to believe it's for identifying a book. Does this number bring up anything? It seems to be for the first edition of the Viper Code. Da Vinci Code. Oh, that's helpful. My father was a huge fan of that book, actually. Of course, I know all about it, but let's say, hypothetically, if he didn't, I would tell you it's a mystery novel about religious history, famous artworks like the Mare Lisa, and so on. You don't say. I think that might exactly be what I needed to hear. Can't thank you enough. Don't worry about it. Just happy to help. Hope you sort everything out. The painting is hanging in the museum's courtyard on the upper level balcony. The Mary Lisa. Yeah, it was in this museum. Ah. Cool. So the vent again? Just like I would do with a good book on a warm summer night, let's crack open this air duct. A rolled up canvas and it looks just like the Mary Lisa up there. I could confirm this with the guide, but I bet the one in my paws is authentic. How could I forget? There's another note. Definitely a pattern, but who left this obvious trail for us to follow? I hope there's an answer, but I suppose the possibility of a dead end always exists. No reason to give up until then, though. Okay, so do we go back to the phone? Oh no, these are latitudes? Like a geographic location? Who can we talk to? Oh, the beam's in the way. The surrounding details aren't necessary to discuss, but the numbers written here, can you make any sense of them? You're telling me you don't recognize these? 2 sets of 8 numbers subdivided into 2 and separated by comma, period, and quotation. Still no bells? Oh, come on. They're coordinates. They didn't teach you that at the academy? You could probably still break these down if you want. From what I can tell, 29, 58, 31, 08. Very significant, detective. And old. Have you ever visited the pyramids? The pyramids? That must mean the antiquities exhibit. I don't know what I'm leading you to this time, but glad I could help nonetheless. You certainly have. I might have a few more things to discuss. Okay. Antiquities. Which way was that? Not here. I forget how to get to it. Or is it upstairs? Oh, here we are. Oh, there. Another vent. Fourth time is the charm. Okay, what's in it? Small horror statue, a counterfeit. Nothing else. I guess that means we've hit a dead end. Such a shame. We were on a roll. Considering everything, we should do more questioning, double check all my notes, and attempt to draw conclusions. The guide will want an update too, since she's been following along. Keep it up, detective. This is the final stretch. Wait, actually? Are we gonna finish the game? I thought we were gonna take like 3 more streams to do it. Well, 2 more after today. We're just that good. Have you put it all together yet? Working on it. Oh, oops. Actually, back. The forgeries. Without any more notes, it seems like the trail has gone cold. That's a shame, but you've recovered 2 almost stolen pieces of art, detective. Nothing to shake a snout at, if you ask me. Of course, still a victory, but unless you can get them to talk, we might be at a dead end. I sure can, but you know, I've been thinking. Clearly, someone was trying to steal the art, right? They'd swap in fakes from the air duct and no one's the wiser. From what you've told me, no air duct has more than 1 piece, except in here. Not to mention, we haven't found a counterfeit diamond. Maybe they really aren't related. 2 heists in one day would be peculiar, but not impossible. Besides, don't you have some fancy forensics equipment you could use? With all this, C is for counterfeit. With all this extra evidence now, surely there's something to be done. You're right, a great detective never lets the trail freeze over. I'll have to ask the officer what could be done, but in the meantime, would you mind answering some other questions? No, I don't have any. Froggy is 100% the client. Well, they have nothing to say here. Oh, I guess when it has something new, it's just that the text here got changed. Trail of notes seems to end there. Oh, and here's the artworks. Someone attempted to steal them both, replacing them with near-perfect replicas. Fingerprints on the screwdriver. My own paw prints, you mean? So let me just check if there's anything I can examine. No, they're all done. Let's see. Only financial fiascos left. Forgery and frame is done. I brought everything back to the guide who presented an interesting idea. If only some pieces were successfully swapped, maybe the culprit was interrupted by another crime. While it doesn't explain the notes or why these particular exhibits were targeted, I've recovered as many as I could. Unsatisfying, but I have a feeling this isn't the end. Whether it's relevant at this point or not, it's worth noting that the mechanic was the father of the artist. Is it possible these events are unrelated? To think my detective sense has let me down a superfluous road is disheartening to say the least. I can fill in the gaps, right? Fill in the gaps. These gaps? We're not ready yet, though. Something stolen from Egypt. We got a little statue from the antiquities department. He has nothing to say at the moment, though. Okay, I think everyone's, like, done for the moment. Oh. I didn't think that would take me down. Honk time? Maybe. There's Piggy. Okay, none of them have anything to say. Yeah, there's something here. The forgeries. Found a few alongside some authentic pieces as well. I was wondering if the department has any equipment for analysis. I'm sure the process is lengthy and complicated, but if it's possible to lift some paw prints, we might be able to deduce some important information. I could even compare them to those registered in the alarm system logs. That could really triangulate this puppet master. Officer, are you there? Hello? Got stuck in traffic on that trip, detective. Thanks for being patient. Well, as I was saying, and you weren't hearing apparently, I imagine this process is going to be arduous. Arduous? No way! Got the mobile analyzer with me right here in the cruiser. Holy shit! Technology's come a long way since you were in school, detective. Don't you know that? Let's get a baseline first. Something we can use as incriminating reference. Luckily, with all these art pieces I've collected, we've got several to compare. Let's see what that brings back. All right. Button, slider, switch. Now scan this here, wait a couple of seconds, and done. We're in business, detective. I got a couple of prints identified across these items and a few sets of them appear on each. Question is, what other evidence should I use for comparison? Ideally, something touched by the same suspect as all this artwork. So, is this like, now we need to make our guess as to who we think is the one behind it all? Because if you give him the backroom keys, that would incriminate the guard, right? The curator for his documents, the tourist for his film, the punk for his gun or his belongings. I don't think it's the diamond because it seems like they got interrupted with the diamond's heist. I think you go down the list. You could. A couple items here, medication, a receipt, business card. They belong to the punk. Kick up the machine, see if it finds a match. Pause crossed. Didn't find anything. I guess that writes off the petty thief podcaster at least. Okay. Yeah, let's just go down the list. The gun belonged to the punk who accidentally fired it during a brawl. No one else came in contact with it. Nothing. I wouldn't have put it past him, but the old timer looks pretty innocent. Okay. The tourist's film. I'm thinking tourist or curator. Belonged to the tourist, but the podcaster swiped it after it took that accidental photo. Nothing. As suspicious as you might think he is, the tourist isn't behind this one. No signs of the podcaster either. Okay. The guard. The artist gave me these, but he claimed they were the guards, so both of them. The analyzer found a match. 2 matches, actually. The authentic pieces have a set of prints that match the keys, but they aren't on the forgeries. Okay. So the guard. The second set of prints is on everything. That's your culprit. Unfortunately, there's no way to know which prints belong to who. The guard isn't involved with the museum's artistic business, and the curator's alibi is fully corroborated. That would mean these keys really don't belong to him. They belong to the guide who misplaced her set a week ago. Didn't you say the artist had them? How is that possible? That's my question. Hate to analyze and run, but I have a case to close, for real this time. They're probably just the mechanics, the father. They just never gave them back to the museum. Well, that's not what I thought, because the curator is trying to get rid of us so quickly. But... okay. Salutations, detective. Have you solved the case? Not quite, but I have some questions. There's just a couple threads left, and it's proving quite difficult to tie them together. Is that so? Well, perhaps you shouldn't bother with talking to me about it. Don't you have some way to correct your records? Certainly, you'll find the solutions you need in there, detective. I suppose you're right. Before I do that, though, whatever it takes, detective. Nothing. That wasn't as breakthrough-y as I liked. The artist. Prior to the incident, he was counting the bones of the various skeletons from the balcony of the Natural History exhibit. When an argument started in the fine art gallery, he decided to head downstairs away from the noise. Where do I put him? Do I use the evidence? The keys? No, the keys aren't on here. Statue pieces? Oh. He did come across as a bit odd, but counting dinosaur bones was a bit of a leap. Now that I know he swapped the statue on the balcony, the rest of this story is likely to fall apart. Okay. When an argument started in the fine art gallery, he decided to head downstairs away from the noise. What was downstairs? The fake statue in the antiquities? Yeah. While the argument may have already begun in the fine art gallery, he still had to finish what he started. It was only after he got the counterfeit painting framed and hung that he could make his way downstairs. Okay, that's a new keyword, so that's good. Does that mean we might have to talk to him again? Surprised he's still here. I thought he would be gone by now. He's like, the jig is up. Subtle connecting string. Please enlighten me, detective. I'm very interested to hear your theories. I'll begin with the obvious. Someone here tonight attempted to steal the Optimus Diamond. A task that would require a sufficient distraction, but little did they know, the museum was equipped with a state-of-the-art security system. This would have thwarted their plan unless they were warned ahead of time, perhaps even prepared. Obvious indeed, but your interpretation is very astute, detective. That's just the beginning. In actuality, the gemstone wasn't the only target, but considering its value, why would they need anything else? Unless the diamond heist was a misdirection, so that someone else could swap various art pieces with forged copies. But that begs the question, why wasn't the diamond replaced with a counterfeit? Aside from the fact it's highly unlikely it could be reproduced, it's more likely to assume the diamond wasn't a misdirection, but a distraction. I believe the jewel thief wasn't even aware of the other's presence. Textbook example of a framed criminal. I would be lying if I said I wasn't enamored with your line of thinking, but I sense you've hit a roadblock. Oh, I did. That connective string I mentioned. The second thief. Suddenly everything clicked into place. Everything. Even more threads than I originally realized. The former staff, the contract, the keys, the notes. Any half-rate detective wouldn't have seen the puzzle through the pieces. So please, since you've so carefully laid them out for me, consider this your opportunity to confess. Yes, it was me. I'm the so-called second thief, detective. I knew I could count on you to figure it out. I'll give you a moment to reflect on that, and then I'll freely answer any of your questions. Thank you. Okay. About the curator. Did this scheme of yours have anything to do with them? It had everything to do with them. In fact, only half of it was mine. The other half was theirs. They hired me to carry it out, and they never realized who I was. What do you mean? Why would they hire someone to steal their own exhibits? You've heard about this investor, haven't you? The curator signed with them a few years ago and it's dug them into quite the hole. Of course, I had never heard their true motivation on the matter, but how else were they going to pay off those enormous debts? And if all their precious exhibits were relinquished as collateral, what's the point in saving an empty museum? So they'd replace only a few with counterfeits and hope they sell enough to cover the sunken investments. Now you understand, Detective. It's vile, twisted, and an absolute betrayal to everyone who ever cared about this place. I can see your point, but I have a feeling there's more to this. Today's events. About the punk. How did he get mixed up in all of this? When I caught wind of the curator's schemes, I formulated my own plan, but required assistance. I would need to hire a thief of my own, one who wouldn't know an impossible job, even if it yanked their tail. So what, you were gonna carry out the curator's heist and have someone else ruin it? I had no other choice. It would have been more difficult and less successful if I had thrown the job myself. And the student, an interesting surprise actually. I only hired the punk, but apparently they were a package deal. They might have gotten away with it hacking their way into the alarm system, but I made sure those two hooligans would absolutely unravel under pressure. You did your part too, Detective. I can't thank you enough for that. What was my part exactly? Someone had to make sense of all this, follow the breadcrumbs all the way to the deep-seated injustices within. You really are as good as they say, you know that? I'm not sure how to take that, but I think there might be a few details left to discuss. What really happened? I found all the art pieces you swapped, but I assume you were up to more than that. Besides the few small ways I could tip the scales, the plan was largely operating on its own accord. There's no sense in being secretive now, so what did you do? When the guard came through the courtyard, I didn't intend to get in his way, but he really didn't see me and I didn't make an effort to move. Of course, it was plausible he could have dropped his keys then. Some would say it could have appeared that way. But those keys I gave you, most of them were random scraps in fact. The only one that mattered actually belongs to the guide. Oh, so it wasn't his dad. Right, I came to that conclusion as well. What else did you have in tonight? Did I mention I saw the student with the gemstone? In the foyer, actually, just after he'd realized the doors had been locked down. According to the plan, I would not have known the student was involved, but from the balcony, I noticed him and the punk setting up to steal the diamond. You really were quite the orchestrator in all of this, huh? It seems like there's always another question for you to answer. Okay. We have all of our keywords. Oh, here we go. Okay. So. Complicated. So the curator planned to have some artifacts replaced with a counterfeit and then stolen? Because it's the curator, right? Who did everything? Hold on. In the pursuit of retribution, the artist took the heist job, hired the amateur pair, the punk and the student, to intentionally fail and thwart the curator's scheme. The curator, through private channels, is secretly selling off various museum exhibits. Yeah. According to the mechanic's son, the artist. The curator is selling stuff. Okay. To have their something to the something. Well, let me start with what I think goes where. The curator planned to have some artwork. Replaced with a counterfeit. Up. To have their debts to the investor paid. Ooh, nice one. Debt. Paid. Investor. Investor is a person? And then action. Paid. The curator planned to have some artwork replaced with a counterfeit and then sold. Yeah, stolen or sold, I would say. Oh, right. Wow, that was quick. Okay. Then bottom page, bottom part of the page. They were in order. Okay, so this is the way they got stolen. Or the way they got replaced. So, oh my god. So we have the statue, we have the painting. The gem is real. We have the little statue from Antiquities. That was the last one we found. Statue of Natural History balcony. Two statues. Or unless the other one counts as a sculpture. Two paintings. What order, though? Do we know the order? Forgery? Yeah, it says it there. The Mayor Lisa. Oh, maybe that's the order. The authentic statue, forged painting, and a faked ancient artifact. Maybe that's the keywords we need to use. So we start with painting. Painting, statue, painting, artifact. Painting, statue, painting, artifact. Painting, artifact. I think that's how we're gonna have to do it. So what's the first painting from? The first painting is... It's in fine art, isn't it? Yeah, it's in fine art. The painting from the fine art exhibit. Painting from the fine art exhibit, the statue from... Natural History? Balcony? Oh, the statue from the Natural History. That sounds wrong. Could it be with the artist? Because that's the room the artist is in, the last one. From the balcony? Maybe, yeah. Statue from the balcony. The painting from the fine art exhibit, the statue from the balcony, the painting, and the ancient artifact. Do we have ancient? No. Yeah, it's ancient, faked ancient artifact from the Antiquities exhibit. The Antiquities artifact? Ooh. I keep forgetting where to look. Super wrong. The painting from the fine art exhibit feels right. Yeah, it's the painting from there, then the statue, then another forged painting, and a faked ancient artifact. Also, something here is new. Let me just quickly check if there's nothing I need to dispute. No. Although, actually, maybe the artist... Let's see. He was... Prior to the incident, he was swapping the authentic statue with its replica and stashing it within the nearby air duct on the balcony of the Natural History exhibit. These are going to be the keywords. As he completed the swap, he confirmed the punk and the student were enacting their portion of the heist. He was swapping the painting on the courtyard balcony when an argument started in the fine art gallery. Okay, so the order is wrong. So the painting The Mare Lisa is second. And the statue on the balcony is first. Okay, let's replace them. So the statue from the from the natural history. Balcony. Okay, then was the Mare Lisa, right? So that was the painting. The courtyard. Ooh, that's good. Painting from the courtyard. Okay, so after that, courtyard argument. Unable to continue swapping the art pieces, he went into the courtyard's lower level. The guards then tripped over him while moving towards the fight. He then continued in the empty foyer in an attempt to leave the now dangerous premises, but found the front door was already on lockdown. A student ran to the sculpture exhibit just as the tourist rushed in. He informed him the door was already on lockdown. With the alarm blaring in the museum on lockdown, the curator returned to the foyer to call the authorities. Wait, this only mentions 2. Prior to the incident, he was swapping the authentic statue with its replica, stashing it in a nearby air duct. As he completed the swap, he confirmed the punk and the student. And he was swapping the painting on the courtyard balcony when the argument started. So this means the courtyard painting is the last one. He did? So we know he has to end in the courtyard, right? Although the doodle again. Oh, look at the doodle. The doodle starts at the statue and ends on the... not the Mary Lisa painting, but the other painting. So maybe we need to go by that. Oops. Maybe it ends on the... artifact and painting stashed in the attic with the gemstone. Oh, yeah. Maybe. That's a good option. In the air duct. With the gemstone. Okay, so maybe it is the painting from the courtyard then? And then the other one is the artifact on its own without any extra info. Then we just need courtyard. Boom, 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 boom. Oh! Hell yeah. They were in order: the statue from the natural history balcony, the painting from the courtyard, the artifact, and the painting stashed in the air duct with the gemstone. Nice. Okay, it was the of the who was the something they had stashed before, changed before. It was the son of the mechanic? The artist? Ooh, that sounds good. Why does the order matter? I think it's because of how he goes through the museum, who was where and when. It was the son of the mechanic, the artist, who was... interrupted? Hired? Well, he wasn't... Was he hired? The punk was hired, right? In turn, the something became the of the so the when you look at it too much it gets confusing. This would ultimately cause the plan to be interrupted. Maybe it would cause the plan to be revealed. Expose the curator's self-absorbed schemes of financial fraud. Yeah, so he just wants to show what's happening to the museum. Curator returned to the foyer to call the authorities, told him to stand by until they arrived. Curator. When an argument began, escalated far enough that the gun was fired, they ran from the foyer. Curator's plan to be revealed by the detective. Oh, maybe, yeah. I am in here. The curator? No, the curator plan. No. It's not possessive. The counterfeit plan? Maybe. Oh, oops. Okay, so what do we do in the middle? So the son of the mechanic was hired. The artist was hired. The curator forgot they had known the frog. Curator forgot they had met before. It is that. Oh. So curator doesn't remember the mechanic, hires the son for a job, but the son is like, the son loves the museum because his dad loved it, so it's like, I can't let you get away with this. So he's starting. That's why he left clues everywhere to find all the artifacts. Ah, I see. So the artist hired the punk because he knew that they couldn't pull it off and would get caught, but then he realized that they were actually smarter than he thought and were messing with the alarm system. So then he had to come in and remove their ID from the alarm system to make sure that they would get caught, so that the detective would show up and unravel it all. So maybe in turn the punk became the client. The artist became the client of the punk. Because the artist hires the punk, right? In turn, the artist became the client of the punk. So the punk would be... So the detective would be hired? Because he wanted the detective to come here. So the detective would be called? So the alarm would be tripped? Maybe. Tripped when he stole the gem. Oh my god, right immediately. I knew I was onto something. When I received the call for this one, I never would have expected how deep it could go. I have all the major points covered now, but some of the suspects might have some more to say about it. Maybe I should be open to interpreting this at more than face value, but technically I have enough information for the final verdict. I should be careful though, there's no going back once I make a decision. Oh. The following suspects are hereby considered under arrest of law at the jurisdiction of the Feline Forensics Private Detective Agency as substantiated by probable cause. This order is valid upon less or equal than 6 suspects by judgment of the detective and is not subject to alteration following submission. Okay. Scary. Well, I know how I would sign it. Oh, look at that. The detective. Oh. Okay. Less than or equal to 6. So wait, I can do less than 6 if I want to. So definitely the curator, right? And the punk and the student, they had good motives for, they wanted to pay for the surgery, which is totally fair, but they still tried to steal a diamond. The artist. The podcaster? You think so? Because they tried to steal the belongings? Tampering? Yeah, so I'm giving the choice not to... I can choose not to have them arrested. Although, they still tried to steal, like, a gemstone that's probably worth millions, though. Send them all to jail. Can I can't save, yeah. Okay, I saved, I think. Doesn't really give you much more feedback than a rumble. Can we get the investor? I don't know if the investor has like a name. We could try going after the whole company, but... Curator, artist, punk, student. Yeah. That's the ones I had for sure. Did he push the punk off the balcony? No, the punk fell because he was dizzy from getting his head banged into the wall. Investor's bad but not illegal. That's true. Old-timer for assault. Technically self-defense for old-timer. Yeah, because the punk had a gun as well. I think maybe these 4. Okay, let's check the whole list. So artist, yes, because he was perpetrating the whole thing. Curator, most definitely. Most guilty of them all. Client is empty. Commissioner is empty. Critic, no, critic is just there to be a critic. The guide is innocent to me. The podcaster is definitely stealing shit they shouldn't, but also gave it back immediately. Honestly, realistically, they should be getting a crazy fine or something for that. Instead of getting arrested, but tourists were trying to photograph the exhibitions, which is prohibited. Yeah, true. Daughter, father, guard. The guard is totally fine, I think. Historian isn't here. Investor is legal, if super shady. Manager, mechanic, mother, officer, podcaster. I think it's these 4 for me. Detective for breaking into employee-only areas. Yeah. Wouldn't the podcaster's actions be considered obstruction? Yes. I think so. Podcaster needs to learn their lesson. Okay. Assigned the detective. I'm gonna go with these 4. Oh, there's a little whiskers in the center of my D. It's quite uncommon that a mystery like this unravels into such a strange game of criminal telephone. The curator hires the artist, who hires the punk, who brings on the student, and each had a critical role in what occurred tonight. It's been quite the evening, but it's time to call this in and finally close the case. So this is them, detective, the culprits behind our museum mystery? Afraid so. Any last words before the officer here takes you away? I wouldn't dare sully the moment for you. In my heart, I know I had my reasons. And moreover, I know I'll never be half the criminal of these fools. Big talk for someone who's headed to the same doghouse as us, huh? And you speak as if you have not simply fallen into the ploy of puppeteers. Oh yeah? What's that supposed to mean? Don't give us some holier-than-thou act now. Oh, would you just do us all a favor and quit your bickering? So that's it, detective? Case closed? Yeah, as it turns out, there's only one thing you can't keep in a museum, and that's the truth. Oh! That car is so cute. We did it! That was amazing! What a fun case. And it was not as long as I thought. There was only one other person I saw on YouTube who'd played this game, and it took them 12 hours. It took us 6. So it's quite the difference. That car is so cute. I love how it's like squish, 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 squish. Honestly, best character in the game, the goose. You have to say. So helpful, voluntarily taking on a night shift, being there whenever I called for them. The goose is the star of the show. Grand reopening. Oh. So the old timer and the critic and the podcaster's there. Why? That was super cute. The credits are really short as well. Seems like a small team did this. I think the only thing that I would want to see for this game, if hopefully it sells well enough, they might be able to fund some voice actors. Maybe not even like everything, but maybe like the detectives, most of his lines maybe would be nice to see voice acted. I would really like to see, kind of like No Stone Unturned, if the cat detective had like a really heavy voice, like a rough, heavy voice. I feel like that would be so nice. The dream would be to have everything voice acted, but that is a lot to voice act. So I totally understand why they didn't do that in this case. But I think if sometime, if ever they could afford it, that would be such a nice thing to add, and it would make the game feel that much more alive, I think. But despite that, I think the case was really good. The story was great. The game has a really nice like mix of 2D and 3D art, and the fact that it's called Feline Forensics and then the Meowseum mystery really gives me hope that in the future we'll get Feline Forensics and a different case. Because I would definitely love to see more of this milk drinking detective. It's so cute.